we're always afraid. You know, I'm afraid to be great. I'm afraid to try something new. I'm afraid to leave a situation. I'm afraid to live my purpose. I'm afraid to, you know, share my dream. I'm afraid, right? Fear stops a lot of our lives, period. You know, a lot of us, and I'm not talking about like a lion coming at you type of fear, right? I'm talking about the fear of not pursuing your goals, the fear of not pursuing your championships, the fear of not pursuing the thing that you know is meant for your life. All right, your dreams, you want to call it your purpose, if you want to call it that, your championships, whatever it may be. And a lot of us, we let fear stop us from our greatness. And so I wanted to talk about that tonight because I've let fear do that to me a lot of times in life. And I'm not immune to it. And so, you know, with me, I like to share the process that I take, the process that I do. You know, you can have different ways to get over fear and overcome fear. But when you're afraid, when I'm afraid, it's three things that I tell myself, you know, period. And I'll be real with you. I did my live broadcast the other night. I released my new course, and I had fear that popped up. Like, fear is going to come in your life. Like, I can't give you the secret to be bulletproof to fear. Fear is going to come. But I want you to understand this. You have to overcome fear. You can overcome fear. So realize that. So the three things that I tell myself, okay, you can write these down, whatever you want to do, listen to it. These are three things that I tell myself. Number one is I understand where fear comes from. So when fear pops up, when I'm afraid, okay, the first thing I tell myself is I know where this is coming from. All right. Fear comes from when you don't know the for sure result. Okay. It comes from the unknown. So let's take speaking, for example. You know, I'm a speaker, and a lot of people ask, Trent, how do you get over the fear of speaking and get over the fear of talking in front of people? Because as we know, public speaking is the greatest fear in the world. Okay. That's a fact. And a lot of times, you know, we sit there and we're scared because we don't know what's going to happen, right? When it's an unknown thing, we make up all these things in our head. We want for sureness in our life. And we don't have certainty in our life. We become scared, right? When we can't control things, we become scared. And that's what happens with speaking a lot. You know, I've made up so many things in my head when I don't know the for sure result. When I'll be like, man, I don't know how they're going to accept it. I don't know if I'm going to mess up, this or that. So I understand that. So you out there, understand this, all right? Fear comes from when you don't know the for sure result. Usually when you're trying something new, when you're in a new situation, you're in a new environment, right? You're around a new person, you're having a conversation that you never had with somebody before. All right, so understand that. The second thing that I understand when I'm feeling fear, I understand why. All right, keyword, why I'm feeling fear. I personally create negative results, and I'm sure you do it too, from an unexperienced situation. Okay, and what I mean by that is I already create the outcome before I even experience it. So before I get on stage, and this is back in the day, I'll say, man, these people aren't going to accept me. These people aren't going to like this. These people are going to fall asleep on me. I'm going to mess up. I'm saying all of these things before I step on stage. And a lot of us with our lives, with our passions, with our gifts, we do that, right? We create the outcome and say, oh, people aren't going to accept who I am. People aren't going to accept my dream. People aren't going to accept my business. People aren't going to accept my change. And we create all these negative results that we haven't even experienced yet. I call it the might, right? Might becomes like a big part of your vocabulary, or what if, right? This might happen, right? They might not accept me. They might laugh at me. I might fail, right? I could not succeed. All of these things we tell ourselves. So I understand that. I understand why I'm feeling fear. And why you're feeling fear is because you create negative results from unexperienced situations. You defeat yourself. You defeat yourself before you even experience the situation. So think about that. A lot of people don't pursue what's in their heart, their passion, their dreams, their purpose, because they already defeated themselves. So if you already predetermined the outcome that you're going to be defeated, that you're going to fail, that people aren't going to accept you, that you're not going to do this or that, why would you even go do it? So that's why you have a lot of people that have dreams and gifts and talents wrapped up inside them that they haven't released to the world because they're so afraid. Because they already defeated themselves. They already told themselves what it's going to be without experiencing the situation. So that, number one, I'm going to repeat these so you can get it. Number one is I understand where fear comes from. Number two is I understand why I'm feeling fear. And number three, the most important step of it all, is I understand that I can overcome fear. I overstand really, that I can overcome, that I can conquer fear. You know, because I realize, first of all, biblically speaking, fear isn't from God. God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, right? That's not from him. I believe God gives us a spirit of faith. So the first thing I do is I pray. When I'm feeling afraid, when that fear comes in my life, the first thing I do is I pray. And I ask God, like wholeheartedly, sincerely, seriously, to release this spirit off my life, because I know it's not supposed to be here. I know this spirit is keeping me from something that you want me to do, keeping me from creating an impact, keeping me from changing a life. And this is me when I'm talking about when I'm speaking. All these things come up and I pray. And so, first of all, that makes me feel great. And I want you to understand something. And I understood this a long time ago. What you focus on is what you will feel. So if you feel fear, it's because you're focusing on fear. If you feel afraid, it's because you're focusing on being afraid. If you're feeling negativity, it's because you're focusing on negativity. If you're feeling failure, it's because you're focusing on failure. So I understand that I understand that I can overcome fear. And I change what I'm focusing on. Instead of all those negative results, right, that hasn't happened yet. Instead of all those things with me defeating myself, I focus on winning. And I don't mean like for a selfish reason. Like winning to me, when I go speak and I'm feeling all these things and I change what I focus on, when I focus on winning, I focus on that life out there that needs the message. Like tonight, right? I focus on me giving somebody a chance, right? Me giving somebody a chance to take a piece of my life, my story, and them taking that and bettering their own life from it. I focus on me growing from the situation, because let me tell you something, repetition, right, kills fear. Fear can't survive where repetition is present. Because the more you rep out, so I remember when I used to speak back in the day, I used to be scared. Fear used to come up all the time because I would already like predetermine all these situations, right, that would happen in my life. But now, even if it does come up every now and then, which is rarely, I go through these situations and I overcome and I focus on winning. And so that's how you overcome fear. Instead of all those negative, what if this might happen, focus on the positive, what's gonna happen. Even if you fail, quote unquote, focus on, I'm going to grow from this. I'm going to become better. I'm going to learn. If people don't accept it, say, okay, it's cool. It's not for everybody. For all you guys out there, the message I want to give to you tonight is to go attack your fear. Fear is going to come in your life. And I'm going to repeat the steps. Number one, understand where fear comes from. And once you understand it, you usually have to do number one is usually the next two steps. Understand where fear comes from. All right, number two, understand why you're feeling fear, okay? Understand that. Understand why you're feeling it. You're feeling it because you're creating a negative result from an unexperienced situation, right? You're already telling yourself what's going to happen and you ain't even experienced it yet, okay? And number three, the most important step is understand you can overcome fear. Things that I do, I pray about it. I focus on something different. I focus on winning. I focus on the growth. I focus on a learning experience. I focus on all the good. And I focused on, honestly, feeling free. Feeling free, man. Like, so many of us, we live in guilt. We live in regret because we don't go do what our heart wants us to do. It's no better freedom than going to attack that passion in your heart, than stepping out on faith. There's no better freedom than that. Just knowing. And even if you do mess up, there's plenty of times where I gave speeches where I went blank and messed up. But I laugh at it now because I know that's just another opportunity for me to grow, for me to focus on maybe preparing a little bit better, whatever it may be. I look at everything as growth in my life. I look at everything as strength in my life. I look at everything as me getting better. So don't let fear keep you in a place your life is no longer supposed to be. Don't let fear keep you stagnant. Don't let fear make you live your life in regret. All right? Overcome it. You can overcome it. Just follow those 3 steps. Add whatever steps you want to add. Those are things that I tell myself. Maybe it might work for you. Maybe it won't. But I just want to share what works for me in my life. All right? Let's get it.